When I dealt out this hand, I really wasn't sure anyone would play it this way, but that's how it goes sometimes. And you know what? You don't have to think that someone will play it this way to think out a hand well and learn something from it. Hello there. Thank you for joining me for Playable Hand number 2, which is part of a self-science study that I am apparently very nervous about and making me shuffle the cards funny. Anyhow, I am trying to collect data on whether or not fortune telling with playing cards is real, whether or not tarot is real. I'm using poker. This is one part of my study. I have removed the 2 cards which are written into my hand here in the My Poker Game Journal, which I created. We are in the Playable Hand section, number 3, and we are, as I said, doing part of my self-science experiment. So I have removed the 2 cards which I have in this scenario. I have written down a potential betting scenario for this hand, and I am now going to ask the deck to help me calm down, because even though I meditated and prepared for this, I am still struggling to shuffle like a normal person. And I am also going to ask the deck the more important question. I feel like this is an important card. Rationalizing. That's the one that keeps trying to pop out. Okay, so I am now going to ask the deck to please help me deal out a hand where my cards, which have already been removed, won the hand, and where it would make sense for myself under the gun and cut off to bet, as we have written here. What hand did under the gun raise to $10 pre-flop, cut off call, and we all ended up all in on flop with? What did under the gun have? What did cutoff have? And what cards came on the flop, turn, and river? How did I win this hand? That is the question. All right. Under the gun, card number 1, cutoff. Under the gun, cutoff. We will look at these at the end. I wish I could get them to stay there. Okay. Hang out there, buddies. Burn. Turn the flop. I have no idea why in the world I would go all in with that flop. Burn. Turn. Another 3. Burn and river. I have absolutely nothing. Awesome. This is literally what I was nervous about, but you know, that's what happens. So cutoff had 10-7 apparently, and under the gun had resourcefulness and panic, but don't panic. Well, I guess this is an example of me not getting a hand that makes sense. Not exactly what I wanted. I will not be marking this down positively in the statistics, but we will analyze this. Okay, I've taken a bit of time to look over this playable hand that we dealt out a bit ago, and I'm now going to explain to you how I won this hand. I did indeed win the hand. I couldn't quite see how I would have played it like this until I went back and looked over the fortune telling. So, shall we review? I had opportunity and desire. Ace-5 offsuit. I was in the big blind. Not the worst hand you could have under any perspective. Fortune knocks at every door once would be the short fortune here, and every rose has a thorn. Generally, the idea is that you have to work pretty hard to get fortune with either of these cards. They can mean that you're getting what you desire and having a good opportunity But as you might note from the images, it doesn't come easy. So I said in advance, remember, that I would call because I had no need to scare them off. They were probably going to c-bet or bluff no matter what. So I decided that meant that I'd been playing with some fish at my table, people who had been playing every hand, bluffing frequently, and that I had been waiting patiently to get something good. So what cards did Under the Gun raise to 10 with? Whoops. Resourcefulness, Sweets to the Sweet, and Panic, but don't panic. Means there is a logical reason to panic, but you shouldn't. Or, depending on what it's paired with, maybe you should, as in this case. However, sometimes it can mean that it's a good time to bluff. But, as this player did somewhat interpret it that way, they thought it would be very resourceful if they weren't afraid and tried to bluff me. Actually worked in my favor. Then we have the cutoff with Exciting Challenge, Bloom Where You Are Planted, and Patience, Betrayal, 7 of Diamonds. Waste not, want not, and Bloom Where You Are Planted. Please excuse the banging, that's my cat. So 10-7 offsuit. Again, not a great hand. I suppose in the cutoff, not the worst, but with $10, kind of pushing it there with 2 other people in the hand. If all 3 of us had equally ranked offsuit hands, it would be about 33% each. But as you can see, I at least had an ace, so I did have them dominated mathematically. So we went to the flop. Let's go ahead and turn these over for a few minutes. We went to the flop and we got Intuition, All the World Loves a Lover, Queen of Hearts, Obsession, 3 of Hearts, Don't Bite Off More Than You Can Chew, Hasty Promises, and Deceit, 3 of Clubs, Dishonesty, Conflict, backstabbing, those kinds of things. So, given the fact that it would seem, by what I had written here, that I was thinking I really wanted them to go ahead and bet big, and I was going to call because in the end, I was going to get what I desired by working hard. See how he's swinging a pickaxe here? I did that on purpose. So, I was hoping, according to my intuition, that they would bet big and I would call. And on the flop, we saw Intuition, Obsession, and Deceit, as if my opponents were obsessed with trying to deceive me, and my intuition had already told me this fact. So, I check, Under the Gun checks, cut off, bets 50. He decides it's an exciting challenge to try and betray both of us out of the hand. Exciting challenge and betrayal. Again, I decide to just call because even though that's mathematically pretty dumb, I feel that's the best opportunity to get what I desire in the long run. These are long run kind of cards. So, as I expected, in search of resourcefulness, unafraid, not panicking, Under the Gun goes all in for 150, and Cutoff again thinks it's an exciting challenge to try and betray me, as if another $100 over the top is going to scare me out of this hand at this point. Actually makes it more affordable, so I of course call, despite the fact that I literally have nothing. All of us just have a high card in this situation. This guy could be thinking that it's possible he'll get a straight, but he would literally have to draw one of the 4 4s and one of the 3 5s, because I already have one. He might be thinking there's 4 in order to get his straight with those 2 cards. It's not good odds. You don't really want to draw for something like that. Might also be thinking he has a heart, but again, he would need 2 more hearts to get a flush. So very silly wishes right there. But some people do such things when they are new to poker. Anyways, this guy, who knows what the world he is thinking. Definitely a very, very exciting challenge at the very least to try and draw a 10 or a 7 to outwit the 2 of us that, to his luck, also only have a high card, because in most cases you should be hoping, you should be at least having 2 more hearts, or a 3, or a queen, or a pocket pair, or something with a few more odds to win if you're going to be going all in for $325, $150, or $250, as I wrote here. So anyways, to finish this hand, we've all already gone all in, and I'm just going off of my gut and thinking that they're more insane than I am at this point. And what card comes on the turn? Proof, usually in the form of documents. The 3 of diamonds. Seeing is believing. Yeah, I definitely needed to see that card to believe that that was a good idea. And on the river, what do we get? Relief. 8 of spades. I had impaired judgment, but it worked out. And what is done cannot be undone. Both of those players just lost to me with the ace-5 offsuit. So, as you can see, I did get the winning hand as I asked the deck for when I shuffled earlier. I did not get a hand that truly makes mathematical sense in poker, but it was pretty interesting, don't you think? Have you ever seen anybody play this way? Leave me a comment, let me know, and come back next time for another playable hand. Thanks for watching. Get your own My Poker Game Journal on Amazon.